I'm Susan from Tarjac. You may know us as the source for the best camo for your guns and bows, but we do so much more. Our custom work with automotive parts can transform any vehicle, our ATVs, sleds, four-wheelers, motorcycles. We've received national recognition for our work with Orange County Choppers, and we are most proud of our partnership with the future servicemen by providing customized helmets for the Army-Navy game. From the national stage to your favorite hunting ground, it's Tarjac.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the CNY Business Connection. I'm Jason Weinstein. Coming up in this week's episode, how a new bus terminal has meant a new hub of business activity for downtown Binghamton. But we'll begin with the latest in business news from around the area.
The impact of the NFL lockout has hit home. The New York Jets announced it will not be holding its training camp in Cortland. General Manager Mike Tannenbaum said because of the variables presented in the office, they felt it best to hold training camp at their practice facility in Florham Park, New Jersey. The team says it plans on returning to Cortland in 2012. SUNY Cortland's president says while he is disappointed, he understands why Jets management made the decision. Some estimates have the greater Cortland area losing about $4.5 million in business generated by the Jets camp. Tuition hikes at SUNY schools have often been a hot topic during the state's budget debates, but now students know what the bottom line will be for the next 5 years. Albany passed a bill that will raise tuition $300 a year for the next 5 years. Back in 2008, the SUNY Student Assembly passed a resolution asking for what they called a rational tuition plan, after becoming frustrated with seeing tuition spikes during some years and no increases during others.
Every other industry has responsibilities to clean up their chemical pollution, not the oil and gas business.
Wes Wilson, whistleblower and former EPA environmental engineer. Tonight, he was at the Vestal American Legion warning of the possible dangers of high-volume hydrofracking. While at the EPA, Wilson challenged the agency's conclusion that fracking poses little or no threat to drinking water supplies.
They concluded in August of 2004 that though the material injected was toxic and not all of it came back, it presented little or no risk to drinking water. And then they did a most unusual thing for any scientific report. They said no further study was necessary.
Wilson is pleased that the Obama administration is starting a new study, but what he really wants is more regulation and less exemptions for the gas industry from the 2005 Safe Drinking Water Act and the Clean Air Act.
They are exempt from these laws, and it's been a bipartisan effort by both parties to promote domestic production of fossil fuels.
Water quality is the issue at the center of the clash between pro and anti-gas drilling groups, both of which were represented tonight.
We have a lake, we're very concerned about water quality, and we believe that the process is safe, and it's very, very important for our local economies, for our state, and for our country.
We know what's happening down there because we have friends and family that still live down there, and so we know the water's getting contaminated. And just, right after a frack or after the drilling or whatever, it's like water's getting contaminated.
EPA retiree Wilson recommends that Woodmansey and others who have leased land to the gas companies take action to protect their own property.
By having a performance-based criteria where they do baseline testing and then they hold the company accountable if there's any change in their domestic water quality or their air.
Does high-volume hydrofracking necessary to get natural gas flowing out of deep shale formations endanger drinking water supplies? People on Carter Road in Dimmock, PA think so. Many of them say they've been forced to use bottled water ever since nearby gas wells were fracked. Now the federal EPA will investigate. Susquehanna and Bradford are two of the 3 Pennsylvania counties to be included in the fracking study that was ordered by Congress. Areas in Colorado, Louisiana, North Dakota, and Texas will also be part of it. A report is expected next year.
Bainbridge Town Hall was definitely not big enough for all concerned citizens wanting to voice their opinion for or against whether Bainbridge Town Council should allow a franchise with Leatherstocking Gas Company.
We really feel this is an opportunity to move local gas into this local community.
On one side, the supporters, who are hopeful of an economic boom from the jobs that would be created from construction of new gas lines that would be placed from either along Route 206 from Bainbridge to Coventry, Route 7 from Sydney to Bainbridge, or Route 88 in Sydney.
It's time we start moving forward, and this is just an opportunity for everybody.
This has nothing to do with drilling. It's about putting a pipeline in for American natural gas to American homes right here in New York.
And in the other corner, those who are against pipeline and gas drilling in general.
If they gain public utility status, which is what their goal is, they're going to be able to make use of the right-of-ways that run through our properties.
We have no eminent domain rights. We will not have eminent domain authority here under law, so we cannot take property by eminent domain. But even if we could, we would not. We want to be a community partner. We want to work with the local people.
My whole property is lined with it's lined with trees. That would totally destroy the reason I moved there.
If the gas line is put in place, it will provide natural gas to Bainbridge, Coventry, and Sydney, which has already approved a franchise with Leatherstocking.
We hope you enjoyed that. When we come back, how you can still be entrepreneurial in a big company. Some business wisdom from Prendismo.com. Plus, a new bus terminal in downtown Binghamton has opened up a whole new avenue of business in downtown.
I'm Norm Poltenson. I've published the Central New York Business Journal for 25 years. Our success is based on the fact that we know only one audience, owners and managers of businesses in Central New York. We publish stories for them, we don't offer sound bites, and we always source our information. Maybe technology's changed since I started publishing 25 years ago, but not our mission. You can always rely on the Central New York Business Journal providing your business news.
Welcome back. It's been less than a year since the debut of a new bus terminal in downtown Binghamton, but it's meant a great deal to Coach USA and become a new avenue for business in downtown. Amanda Kenny has more.
All aboard the bus, that is. Trains and planes are too pricey these days. And after Binghamton's new bus terminal was built last year, the Coach USA short line has seen more passengers hop on the bus.
Our ridership has increased. We have people traveling more, going to more varied places.
And as you can see by the line behind me, there are plenty of people from Binghamton and even those just passing through Binghamton that are heading on to the Coach USA short line from this very terminal.
And it is growing. More people are using the bus from Binghamton to go to all the different places we serve.
Binghamton has become the central hub for the line, where passengers wait for transfers to get to their destination.
They'll walk downtown, get something to eat, go somewhere. They could decide to come back.
And passengers seem to like it compared to the old terminal.
Oh, the old one was pretty dated, not a lot of space. This one's very nice and open.
Alex Kaminsky even noticed a nice change in mood in the staff.
When the work environment is nice, it's more conducive to friendly interaction.
Falzone says Binghamton has become an important asset to Coach USA and hopes to see more success with the terminal in the future.
Time now for a bit of business wisdom from someone who has lived it, thanks to our friends at Prendismo.com, partnering with entrepreneurs for success. And this week's bit of business wisdom, well, you can be entrepreneurial in a big company.
If you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to get ready to be that. I mean, taking this class is a very important step in that process, but probably you need a little bit more than that. And one of the things that I recommend is working for a big company. Actually, the guys at Sightspeed didn't follow this model, but I did. I went to work for Hughes and got a chance to learn about designing satellite communication payloads. Now, that's not something you're going to do at a little small startup unless you have a bit of experience. Big companies have incredible resources. You, as a relatively young person, can come into an organization that's doing big things, and you can learn about those things or those products or those services. And you can learn how that company in that market conducts business. They usually have great educational resources, both going to school and internal programs, and it's a great way to learn about something. In fact, you could almost think about it like going to school. I mean, I also had a tremendous amount of fun while I was there. And then when we left to start our own company, we had an expertise about, in that particular case, it was about these very small satellite terminals, which are now very common today, but were unusual back then, and we knew a lot about them. So we got a lot of work right away consulting in that area, and then we started, as I mentioned, started to build on that. So we weren't so much of a product company to start with. But that experience working for Hughes was just very valuable. So it's not, so I don't know, I think it'd be a lot harder to start your own company coming right out of school. Not that it's impossible, but you really should learn something well first.
And that does it for this episode of the CNY Business Connection. Thank you very much for joining us. Until next time, I'm Jason Weinstein. Have a good one.
I'm Norm Poltenson. I've published the Central New York Business Journal for 25 years. Our success is based on the fact that we know only one audience, owners and managers of businesses in Central New York. We publish stories for them, we don't offer sound bites, and we always source our information. Maybe technology's changed since I started publishing 25 years ago, but not our mission. You can always rely on the Central New York Business Journal providing your business news.